Hello everybody, I hope you're doing fantastically well. It is Connor here and we are back with a Leeds United based sponsorship on the channel. Now guys, before we start this, I wanted to let you know I went to these guys to sponsor the channel because I've bought so many of their things over the past couple of months for family members, for friends. It's literally ideal for gifts. It is teamwallart.com. These guys specialise in metal plaques, but it's Leeds United based plaques as well. These are the three that I bought recently. The Marcelo Bielsa one, I absolutely love that. I've had that hung on my wall for a while now. We've had the Champions one, and the detail in this is absolutely insane. The link is in the description below if you want to check them out. And this one in particular, accused of everything, guilty of nothing. You know it's true. Since 1919, you can get this one for £5.99 if you buy another plaque for £7.99. Guys, go check it out. Worldwide delivery, many designs available. And as I said, the link is in the description. Go check it out. Hello everybody, hope you're doing fantastically well. Excuse the red teeth, I've just got myself a vino after a long, hard day covering Leeds United. Oh, by God. I hope you're all doing fantastically well anyway. And yeah, this is your Spurs 3, Leeds United 0 review. And it's on the day. We're actually doing it on the day as well, which is actually quite novel. To be quite fair, it's not normally on the day. It's normally a couple of days after. Apologies for the sound as well. If it does sound a little bit tinny, normally it's we have got the mic, but the mic is just out of order at this moment in time. We have another video coming tomorrow where the mic will be back. Don't worry. But yeah, let's get into some of your comments. I'd really like to see what you guys are saying. Yo, Connor, finally caught you live. Nick, yeah, this is it, mate. It's when it's on the day, it's great, isn't it? And this is the first time I've done it on the day. I'm normally working, to be honest. Those tax are tidy, fair play, mate. Go check them out. Honestly, I've ordered so many of them. It's ridiculous, and they're dead cheap and really good quality. So go check them out. Evening. Hi, Connor. Where's your mic, Connor? Yeah, apologies. It is in the works. Don't worry. It will be back to tomorrow. We're doing a video tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. But yeah, listen. Oh God, how do you review that? It was a difficult one, wasn't it? It was a difficult one from day dot, really. From moment one, I expected it. I really expected it, and that was why I wasn't so disappointed with it. I was coming on here last night, and I think I said a 2-2, which was great. You know, that was me being really, really positive, being a 2-2, and I never thought that was going to be the case, really. And it's easy for me to come online and say that now, but with Leeds United, it's very difficult to go to a place like Tottenham Hotspur and be able to deliver a result like that. Well, because you know why? Because we're going to concede a goal naturally against their forward line. You know, they've got such an abundance of quality in their forward line, and they're always going to punish us. They're always going to punish us, and I think I was sort of expecting that. But I was really surprised by our first 20 minutes. I thought we were brilliant. I thought we had a lot of the ball. I don't think we were really unnerved. I think Jose Mourinho came out afterwards and said he was disappointed with his side's first 20-25 minutes. And I thought we were really good the first 20 minutes. I thought as I said, we had hold of the ball. We were getting into some really nice attacking transitions. We had the ball in the midfield. I thought from moment one, Calvin Phillips was out of the game. They man-marked him, and Ndombele was all over him like a rash, and I thought that worked very well. We speak about this on the One Leeds Fan Channel consistently of why I get so confused as to why teams don't do it more and more often with Calvin Phillips, with the quality that he possesses. Why do they not man-mark him? Why do they not get rid of him out of the game? And don't get me wrong, it's because Leeds' furious press, it's that ferocity, it's everything that, pegs players in the left direction, right direction, so they're pulled out of position. So the man-marking system from other teams on Calvin Phillips means that they lose pragmatism in other areas, so they can't do that. But that area, when you nullify Calvin Phillips, is such an advantage for other teams. And you saw that from the minute one, really. Calvin couldn't really get into the game. But I thought we were okay. We were creating a few half chances. We were getting hold of the ball. And I'll be honest with you guys, I thought in this game in particular, just had a feeling, I don't know why, I was thinking Chelsea, Man United vibes, that we were going to concede within the first 10, 15 minutes. We didn't. We were playing okay. We were doing okay. And I was really happy in the first 20 minutes. I thought, you know what? We're expected to concede. We're expected to lose this game, and we're doing okay. We're keeping charge with them. Now, it changed quite dramatically after that first goal. I thought there was a real deterioration in our performance. I thought the levels that we'd set in the first 20, 25 minutes, there was a little bit of a switch, and that really disappointed me. Once again, we hark back to this consistency stuff with Leeds United when it is not about the quality of the opposition. It is about Leeds United's mistakes. And we talk about it once again on this channel so much, where it's Leeds United versus Leeds United, which is our worst enemy. And we frequently speak about this when Leeds have sort of off performances. Naturally, it's not really opponents forcing us into mistakes. I don't personally think. I don't think that was the case today. I think it's Leeds just lacking concentration and focus in certain areas. And maybe that's what divides the Championship player from the Premier League player. And that's not going too far in depth into Leeds United having a full Championship squad, because we haven't. We're performing above our stations, and every single player has stepped up remarkably well. Look at the position we're in. But sometimes in some critical moments, Leeds switch off. And I think we saw elements of that today. And when Leeds switch off, we're punished. And we're punished in this league more than I mean, this league it's relentless, it's ruthless, it's reckless. All the R's in the book. It really is. It'll punish you. And against top class opposition we had today, we gifted them. And how many times does Connor come on this channel and say, we gifted them? We gave them a step up, 20 minutes in, fantastic. They didn't really create that much. They weren't offering that much. Leeds did really, really well. And then there we go, gift wrapped. And they're the frustrating elements of being part of this Leeds side. We take the good with the bad, but could those bad elements be ironed out? Because those bad elements are easily ironed out for me. It's not about quality. It is about concentration. It is about focus in key moments in games. And it's okay turning around and saying, okay, well, yeah, but Connor, we won 5-0. We beat Burnley 1-0. It's great. Listen, 6 points out of 9. I'm buzzing with that. You can tell I'm not downbeat by what's happened today. But it does get extremely frustrating with the individual errors that we have sometimes. And as Smith says here, stupid passing, many balls given away. And I think that's the element of it, really. It is just sometimes Leeds United are our own worst enemies, if I'm summarising what I've just been speaking about for the past 90 seconds. So get your comments in, guys. We love reading the comments out. An off day, I'd like us to sign a more experienced keeper. And I think there's a lot of validation with what Mr. B is saying there. We love Meslier. I love Meslier. I think Meslier is going to be world class. I genuinely do. But he's 20 years old. The only 20-year-old keeper I can think who really was in that limelight and who was consistently playing for a top side. I'm not comparing Leeds with this side, but a top side in the top division, really consistently, was Joe Hart for Manchester City. I think it's a big ask playing Meslier without having that experienced keeper, just to speak to him, just to let him know, and not going and breaking the bank, but bringing in an experienced keeper just to help him through these situations, with Elia Capriel there and Kiko Casilla, I don't feel is that experienced man who Meslier is going to talk to. So I think Meslier really is our most experienced keeper. So that is an issue. I would love us to bring in an experienced keeper, not break the bank at all, but just get someone in, even if it is someone from the continent. But I hope someone from the Premier League. Someone like, I know it sounds daft, but someone like Rob Green when he came in that one time and was great for Leeds. Someone like that who could just whisper in his ear, help him out. I feel Illan Meslier has so many elements to his game where he's brilliant in terms of he's got a cool persona. He's very good at one-on-one situations. When teams strike from outside the box, he's absolutely brilliant at judging where the ball's going. He's very, very good at anticipating things. He's got better with his corners. I thought today when they had corners, apart from the obvious one, I thought at the start he made a really good catch up here, and I thought he was going to sort of flap at it. He didn't, made a really good catch. And I thought, okay, he's getting into it a little bit here. But being a young keeper in this division for the first time, you're always going to make mistakes, but he has some glaring holes in his armour for me. He doesn't like central passes. Central passes, for me, with Meslier, he did it with Calvin Phillips in the Leicester game 2 or 3 times. Wolves game at home, he was guilty of it 2 or 3 times. That stray middle pass to Calvin Phillips, his balance is almost off when he plays that ball centrally to Calvin Phillips. When Calvin comes deep, gets it on the back foot and looks to make Leeds more expansive out wide. He normally plays it too far left or too far right, and that is the issue with sometimes his distribution down the middle, his distribution to the flanks as well. They can ask a lot of our fullbacks. I think sometimes they can be too high, they can be to the chest, but he's a young lad. But if we're just talking about his areas where he can improve, I think that his distribution needs a lot of work for me. For me, his distribution needs a lot of work. He'll hit Dallas sometimes, and he'll hit, don't get me wrong, he'll hit the flanks well sometimes. But I think when he does hit the flanks, he gives our fullbacks a lot to do when he does it. And the passes down the middle, when we're under pressure, we've seen it numerous times. We saw it Burnley. Burnley was a classic example. Somehow we got away with it. He recovered. He made a really good save. But it sort of happens week in, week out with Meslier, where he tries to overplay it. And that's instructions from the manager. But you've also got to make those accurate passes and give your players a chance. If Calvin Phillips is getting hunted down by Ndombele, look to play it to Bamford. Go long, but make sure that passes in and around that 5-yard space with Patrick Bamford, where he can actually go and get the ball. But yeah, Phillips as well. We'll try and go through the game chronologically, guys. Keep getting your comments in. But yeah, the game, obviously, the first goal was massively frustrating. Leeds give the ball away. Wasn't a penalty for me. It was on the outside of the box. The referee was trying to, Peter Walton on BT Sport was trying to advocate that it was, we have this with if it's on the line, then it is a penalty. And it's like, Peter, you're just doing this referees union thing here, mate. It's not a penalty. It's outside the box. Anyway, it was out. We're creating our own downfall there. We gave it away. Alioski, a reckless tackle, and once again, we'll talk about Alioski's performance. It's chalk and cheese, isn't it? And it's just so frustrating because we had such you saw with the West Bromwich Albion review, I came on, I was his biggest plaudit. Amazing, brilliant performance, defensively very good against Dean Garner, offensively absolutely brilliant, got his goal, was everywhere, best game in a Leeds shirt is what I said about Alioski. But then he'll play this game, and I don't think he had too much quality up against him today. I thought he was okay. I thought he was okay in terms of on his side, on that right side, players coming forward. I don't think Bergwijn was murdering us down that right-hand side, just because I don't think they exploited that side that much. But it's the individual errors again from Alioski. It's the focus, the concentration, just the stray passes into the middle of the field. The long passes which are going straight to Alderweireld, straight to Dyer. It's, the elements, you could just tell with how Alioski started this game that it wasn't going to be a good game for Alioski. With Özcan Alioski, within about 5 or 10 minutes if he's going to have a good game or not. Absolutely brilliant against West Bromwich Albion. The game today, I struggle to turn around and say, well, he was against world-class opposition, because on that right-hand side, if you watch the game, if you analyse the game, I've watched the game back again, there wasn't that much coming down. Bergwijn didn't get that much of the ball, really. It was Alioski in possession, where he was just giving the ball away consistently, and that was really disappointing from him today, because that's on himself. That's on himself. That's not on the quality of the opposition. So we'll look at the second goal anyway, and the second goal was sheer class. Absolute sheer class. It was Harry Kane getting the ball. Pascal Struijk went in there, tried to make the tackle. Pascal sort of dived in, quite unlucky with it. I thought Kane did really, really well to skip past him, and then just a moment of brilliance. And we spoke about it in the preview that Leeds haven't really faced that yet, moments of class that have just won games. And I said in my preview, I said, Son's the one, Kane's the one. And we all know that. You don't need someone who's a professional analyst, which I'm not, by the way, but someone to tell us that. We know they're two world-class players, could fit into any squad in Europe. But they got, Kane got the ball, so an unbelievable ball in, cuts about 3 defenders out. Son with a really intelligent run, made sure he was onside. 2-0. And for me, game over at that point, because Tottenham is solid at the back, very, very solid at the back. I don't think Leeds had any clear-cut chances today. Bamford had a header which he should have scored for me. Should have scored. Rafinha, wonderful ball in. Bamford had an off game today. And he'll be kicking himself, old Patrick Bamford, because he's had 2 games now where he's West Brom, we won 5-0, but he wasn't really in the game. Today, he had 2 decent chances for me on the edge of the box where he had a lot of space. Didn't work, Lloris, at all. And that header, You know, I think if Kane had been playing for us today, he'd have got a brace, and that's the levels in class. That is the levels in class, and we've got to surmise it with that. You know, they're a good team at top. I was going to say brilliant. They're not that brilliance level yet, but I think they're a very, very good team with world-class players. You know, I've seen some people in my comments saying that we're going to go there and win 3-4-0, 4-1, 3-1. And in hindsight, it's a wonderful thing. But I say this all the time. I don't know why I do, because you've got to have hope with Leeds United. You have. And I have hope all the time. But against Tottenham, I think it's always going to be a difficult task, because they're very good at the back and they're extremely good going forward. And there's some games for me, I'll be honest with you guys. I said a Desmond 2-2 last night. That was me with my heart. But with my head, you know, saying to my pals, we're going to lose that game 3-1. Or, you know, I thought 3-1. So I thought 4-1. It was just one of those games which stylistically wasn't good for us. You know, as I say on here, it's like it was a Khabib against Conor McGregor. Stylistically, it wasn't a good matchup. They're very good at the back and they're ruthless going forward. So that second goal, brilliant. Hands up. It was a fantastic goal. Third goal, once again, a set piece. Ball was played in. Alderweireld beats his man. I don't know if it's Calvin again. I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't really tell on the replays whose man it was, to be honest. Mele's got to do better. He drags the ball in. You know, you palm that out. It's reactionary. You just palm it out. You kind of go to the ground, fist it out. It's easy for me to say, of course it is. But as a goalkeeper, you've got to be doing better. So for 2 of those 3 goals, I'd put them at Mele's door, really. And that's got to be better. That's got to be better. But on the whole, he's been excellent for us this season. But I think he's got out of jail a couple of times with his distribution. I do. The Burnley game, the Leicester game, the Wolves game. He got out of jail a lot of times with his brilliant shot stopping, but his distribution's got to improve. It's got to improve. And it's his first season. In the Premier League. It will improve. He's going to be a world keeper for me. I love Illan Meslier, but I'd look to get an experienced keeper in January. I know we won't. If we don't, it'd be great to get one in the summer just to help him. Through scenarios, through, you know, situations, environments, whatever it may be, even if there's a keeper sat next to him, you know, at the Tottenham Stadium, and they're just talking through the game, you know, what to expect, what to do, what not to do. You know, and you see all the best keepers in the world who have that experienced head just behind them, you know, the younger goalkeepers. Love to win in London, says Mr. B. Yeah. We lacked a cutting edge. We did, but I mean, you've got to look at the opposition, mate. You've got to look at the opposition. They're extremely good at the back. I think they've conceded the least amount of goals in the Premier League. And this is it with expectations. Again, it's measuring expectations. We're not supposed to go to Tottenham and beat them. That's it. It's the bottom line. I'm being raw with you guys. We're not supposed to go to Tottenham and win. You know, we play West Bromwich Albion at home. We play Fulham at home. We play Sheffield United at home. We play Crystal Palace at home. We're probably expected to win those games. We're not supposed to go to Tottenham and win. It's a free hit. You know, it really is a free hit. I think we've beaten 2 of the top 10 or 11 teams now. And you know, you'd like to maybe get 3 or 4 wins against those opposition in the reverse fixtures if we've got some at Ellen Road. But overall, we're not supposed to beat teams like that. You know, we're not. They're in their own trajectory, their own stratosphere with the amount of money they've spent. Look at the stadium we played at. Look at the stadium. It was a submarine, spaceship, whatever it was. You know, that's the levels that we're playing at now. And, you know, that's why I'm not so disappointed today, because I expected it. So 6 points out of 9. You know, beating Newcastle, lost to Man United, beating West Brom, beating Burnley, beating Tottenham. If we carry on like that throughout the season, that'll do me. That'll do me, donkey. That really will. I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. So I'm not too downbeat about it. If you're downbeat about it, I don't know where you're looking at that game. I'm downbeat when Leeds lose because I'm a massive, passionate Leeds fan. But overall, I think you've got to look at it a little bit more general than just this game, to be honest with you. Weren't at our best, and they showed their quality. Chin-up, bounce back against Brighton. I couldn't have said it better myself, to be honest. Will says, world-class players, nothing we can do but put our hands in the air and say they were the better team. And I think the only caveat to that, Will, was the 2 individual errors that we made. But that second goal was, they were the better team. They were the much better team. Look at that second half. We didn't do anything. Leeds didn't do anything in that second half. We pressed for about 20 minutes towards the end, but we just couldn't get anything at goal, really. Did we create any massive chances? Did we force Lloris into a save? Really? Harrison had a chance on the edge of the box. Really good effort. I can't think of many more, guys. So that they were deserving winners. A lot of people talking about, I think Arsenal beating West Brom, which is good news as well. Højbjerg was class then today as well. Højbjerg was very good. He was very, very good, very smart as well in how he goes down and how he plays the game. Richard Hambleton, extremely happy with progress so far in our league position. Got to vent about the game though. That's it, and that's my channel in a nutshell. This should be the description for my channel. Extremely happy with the progress so far in our league position, but got to vent about the game, and that is it. You know, come on this channel and we just talk about the game, but overall we're doing really well this year. You look at, we're still in 11th at the end of play today. Calvin, I was disappointed with him. I was really disappointed with him at the end. Højbjerg, I think it was, who was running. Calvin makes a stupid tackle. We've seen this with Calvin before. And I come on here and wax lyrical about Calvin Phillips all the time, but it wouldn't be right of me to not come on here and talk about Calvin Phillips if he's made a mistake. Didn't need to make that foul. Was it a yellow card? I'd probably say it was, because he was going away from goal and Tottenham were building an attack. He didn't need to do it. We're 3-0 down. It's the 93rd minute. He puts a tackle in. He knows he's on his 4th yellow card. He gets his 5th and he's out for another big game. Gets his 5th yellow card and now he's out for Brighton, which is a massive game. It's a huge game in 2 weeks' time. As I said, we're not expected to beat Tottenham. Brighton at home is a game for me that we should be going and winning. You know, but Brighton, I still think, are in a bit of a false position. I think they're a good team. I think they're a really good team. Watched them again tonight. Watched them against Man United. Watched them numerous times this year. I think I've still got the Ben White effect with Brighton. I watched them. I think they're a very good team. So it's going to be a massively tough game for Leeds against Brighton. And I don't know why he's done that. He didn't need to do it. Let Højbjerg run into the corner. Let him build another attack and then we can just defend it. He's done that. It's a stupid tackle. And we've seen this with Calvin before. You know, sometimes that little side of his game needs to be eradicated for me. Just sometimes there's a little bit of frustration with Calvin. We've seen it before. And we needed him in this game. If he was to get, but you know, he was going to get booked anyway, and he was going to get the suspension because he's not going to be on 4 yellow cards the rest of the season. But the game after, we've got Southampton who are doing extremely well this year. You know, if we had Calvin for that Brighton game, could we afford to lose him for the Southampton game? Of course we could. That's fine. That's fine. But the Brighton game, he's just got to have that in his head. You know, going into this game, I can't get a yellow card for this game. He's got a yellow card, and that was very indisciplined for me today. Thought Ayling was good today. I really like him at centre-back. I think Shaq should start full-back, though, for his pace. Yeah, I thought he got some unfair criticism today, Luke Ayling. Weirdly, at the end, loads of people saying his passing was astray. I thought that first half, he was magnificent. Harry Kane, where was Harry Kane in that first half, apart from the penalty? You know, really, I was going to say, where was Harry Kane? But obviously, he got the goal for Son as well. And this is the difference, isn't it, from the world-class players? Where was Harry Kane, says Connor? Well, he got the penalty and the assist. But on the general remit of play, I thought Luke Ayling, when he was up against him, did really well. You know, he didn't man-mark him as such out the game. But I'm making a false point here, aren't I? But generally, I thought Luke Ayling, his individual battles with him, I thought he did quite well. He was getting the ball, marauding once again into that midfield, which we talked about, which we've missed since Ben White, really. And I still like Luke Ayling in that position. I really like him there. I think he does exceptionally well. Came out after the game, once again, gave a bit of a captain's interview, say we go again. It didn't really go for us. We had a couple of chances. And the positive thing is, guys, what do we say at the end of all these streams? What do Leeds do every game? We create chances. We create chances every single game, which is why we won't go down in this division. I'll stick my neck out and say it. You can't create as many chances as Leeds United do and go down. You can't score as many goals as Leeds United do and go down. You know, a lot of you'll say, well, you've jinxed it now, but that's just a metric. It's that's science in football. It's statistical analysis. When you look at years gone by, we create too many chances to go down. So once again, we still created them today, didn't we? But we just didn't get the rub of the green. And Tottenham they're a very good team. So Will, once again, says we are winning the games that we should be winning with more experience in the Premier League. We'll do better against the top teams. I think that's investment as well in the future. When we get that investment, when we bring caliber of players in, like, you know, I'm not going to say this is ever going to happen, but the similar caliber of Rodrigo de Paul or Cuisance in that midfield, imagine the difference that's going to make, you know, or another left back, which I think we desperately need a left back. Imagine when we bring that quality in, and it's not just going to be championship top level quality. It's going to be European level quality, like we've seen with Koch, Llorente, Rafinha and Rodrigo. With those acquisitions, it's going to be that next level quality in those positions. So that's what we've got to look forward to. If we stay in this division, Oh man, we've got so much to look forward to as Leeds fans. This is why I'm positive at the minute. But we can see how it would turn if we lost to Brighton and then lost to Southampton. But this is how the season's going. We seem to win one, draw, win one, lose two, win two, lose two, draw two, win two, draw one. It's so inconsistent. But if we end the season in 11th, I mean, what an unbelievable season it's been. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going forward. Bamford isn't a proper striker. 10 goals in 16 would probably weigh against that there, Dave. Would like Costa in January. He's such an arsehole. Perfect for Leeds. Oh, right. I'm thinking. I'm sure I've got Helder Costa. Bit shocking today. Would disagree, Lewis. I think that's massively harsh. And this is it. It's the expectation, isn't it? What are we expecting? To go to Tottenham and put in a world-class performance, pocket Kane and pocket Son and score 2 or 3 goals and replicate the 5-0 the other night or get 2 or 3. It's never going to happen. It's never going to happen, you know, for me anyway. Martin Francis says, KP is only human. His back must be killing him, carrying the defence in the midfield. Don't know if he's been carrying the defence, Martin, but I accept what you're saying. He's been a wonderful player for us. Poveda came on and looked like he was blown 5 minutes in. Poveda's a weird one, isn't he? He's a weird one. I mean, we saw when Pablo came on. Pablo looked really tricky, neat when he came on. I thought he looked nice in terms of controlling the ball and trying to make attacking movements. I don't know if Poveda's done it yet. I've not seen the Man City game, potentially. But it's an interesting sub because he's a young kid. My question is, can you ever see him getting into the starting 11, even with 2 or 3 years progression? So I remember 2 years ago having the exact same conversation with my mate about Tyler Roberts, and I was like, you know, we've got to give him a chance, of course. You know, we've got to. And my mate was like, you know, you got to give him a chance, blah blah blah. But he's not really done it, has he? Is Poveda going to go down that same route? I don't know. I'm just not thoroughly convinced on him yet as a substitute. You know, I think it'd be great for us in January to get a couple more impact depth subs. Hernandez still does it when he comes on, which I really like. Poveda, I'm not sure it makes that difference a lot. I don't think Costa does as well. So it'd be nice to see Leeds just get a little bit more depth. I don't even know in the attacking sense if we need it really, but whether or not it's going to be a promotion of kids from the youth, I don't know. Let's have a look at some of what you guys are saying. Get your comments in. Once again, guys, apologies for the sound if it is a little bit tinny. If you have just joined, microphone is out of use, but it'll be fine tomorrow. I've been DIYing on it today and it's okay. I just didn't want to risk it for this one. We will have some more content tomorrow, by the way, so make sure you're tuned in to One Leeds. I was anticipating a loss, but it was very disappointing to give it away that. And I think Pizzuriel, sorry, mate, if I've murdered your name. I think it's a really good point because we gave 2 goals away. 2/3 of the goals Leeds gave away. It was our own, you know, making. They were preventable. They were avoidable. You know, we gave away 2 goals which were avoidable. And that's the disappointing aspect of it. You know, going forward, I didn't think we had that cutting edge really today. And I think that was because of Tottenham's defensive astuteness and solidarity. But yeah, I mean, I guess you take those 2 goals away, we still lose 1-0, don't we? You know, I don't really think the mindset changes with Leeds, even if we lose that 1-0. We're still going to attack. We're still going to go forward. It's still going to be the same thing. We're probably not going to be able to break them down. And I know 1-0 is a very different game to 3-0, but yeah, it'd be interesting, I guess. Bielsa out, Allardyce in, says Alfie. Yeah, well, that's it. That's it, isn't it? It's a lot of the media. You know, we always question Bielsa, don't we? Everyone's always questioning Marcelo Bielsa's tactics, and Leeds will lose 3-0 against Tottenham. And you've seen it again today. The journalists are the best at it. You know, you see a tick on Twitter and, haha, that's Bielsa then, is it? And because they've got such a massive following, it spreads a lot of sort of hate. And obviously, you know, these journalists are responsible and they know this and they'll do it anyway to spark the fire. But we saw that again today. There was a couple of journalists who were saying this, that and the other. But, you know, when Allardyce, you know, Sean Dyche don't get a good result, they're coming on and they're not saying anything. You know, they're not saying anything. I don't know whether or not it's because they don't like Bielsa generally. I don't know if it's because they don't like Leeds, they don't like the hype. But we're sat in 11th place and we're newly a promoted team. And we've got more points than Sheffield United, who had a brilliant start last year. Do not forget Sheffield United's start last year, by the way. Finishing 9th. What a feat that was. Finishing 9th and we've got more points than them at this stage of the season. what have we got to moan about? Yeah, it's been annoying, but the reason it's been annoying is because we went last season and we pretty much won every single game. Last season, we just absolutely battered the Championship and won it by 10 points, and we're champions, you know? So we go up with expectations, but the Premier League is a different level, isn't it? Literally. And in so many areas, it's a different level, even just the exposure media-wise. So, yeah, I mean, I do get a little bit annoyed with that whole rubbish from the media. It does annoy me a little bit. Another really good point. Pazuriel says, Calvin's yellow annoys me way more than losing tonight. And I said that to my dad. I said, I can lose and Calvin hasn't got that yellow and I'm absolutely fine. Who cares? We go to Brighton and we start again. Like we did when we lost to Man United 6-2, went to Burnley at home and we go again. For him to get that yellow card such a stupid way, you know, and Calvin, that side of his game sometimes needs to be improved for me. He's been brilliant so far. But if we can call Cooper out and we can call everybody else out in the squad, if Calvin does something stupid, he shouldn't be void from criticism, should he? You know, I feel sometimes there's a bit of a shield wall around Calvin. I love Calvin. I get criticised for coming on here and waxing too much about him. But he didn't need to do that today. He did not need to do that. You know, we forget he's, 25 years old now. He's not a child anymore. He didn't need to do that. And he's gone and done that and left us with a little bit of a predicament. We're sort of hoping Llorente's back now. We're hoping Cooper's back so we can put Struijk in that position, a position where Struijk, you know, we've had Struijk and Ayling who've been, for me, very good at the back in these past 3 games. And now because what Calvin's done, we're now going to have to rejig it a little bit. Yeah, so I agree with that completely. Bielsa ball all the way. Says that man. Sorry, mate, I went past your name. In the Championship, we don't get punished for mistakes. BPL, yeah, and that's so true. We do. 3 or 4 games coming up, we should win. And yeah, I mean we've got some tough ones coming up. I will say that Southampton, that's a horrible game for Leeds. Very strong at the back, very good going forward. I said about a month ago that, and I've said it to you guys multiple times, I think Southampton and Spurs are 2 teams that I weirdly just write off in my head. I just watch them both and I think they're not good matchups for Leeds. They're not good matchups. And with Leeds, you can just predict it because we play the same every single week. We approach every single game the exact same way. So you can predict how Leeds are going to go into every single game. And you can do with Southampton and you can do with Spurs. Those 2 they're not, I don't think they're good matchups for Leeds. But you look at Brighton, the other games we've got coming up, Newcastle we've got soon as well. Nigel D says, it's so frustrating, Connor, better decision making and cutting out mistakes and giving the ball away. Would have stayed in the game today for longer. Yeah, and it's true. You know, we're talking about that earlier on the stream. It's the mistakes which, after the first goal today, I think that game's done. There's a mentality switch. Spurs go a little bit more on the front foot. They're getting forward a little bit more. That goal spurs them on, literally. And Leeds retreat. The passing gets a little bit more erratic and we lose control of it a little bit. And it's all because of a stupid individual error. And I put out on a tweet, it's Leeds versus Leeds sometimes. And in big games like that, as we said last night in the preview, if you are not 10 out of 10, every single Leeds player, because we've got, in that squad, really, we've got 9 players who played in the Championship the season before. I don't know why I'm saying really. I'm trying to sugarcoat it. We had 9 players who played in the Championship the season before. If you're getting those players who Bielsa has improved, by the way, we all know this. Alioski, Dallas, you know, Struijk, all these players who Ayling, who Bielsa has improved onto that next level, even by Championship terms. So he's improved them again. Bielsa doing that, these sort of players have to be playing at 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10 to beat a team like Tottenham. And Tottenham, I still felt they could have gone to another gear or 2 today, and that's the difference in the you know the class teams. And they are a world class team because they're a top 4 team in the Premier League. The Premier League, the best league in the world, so they are a world class team. You know, but yeah. Anyway, we move on, don't we? Spurs didn't blow us away. 3 mistakes, 3 goals. I don't know about the second one, mate. I think you've been harsh on Spurs there. That was a superb goal for me. It was a world-class goal. Archie, evening. Connor, mate, hello. Happy New Year as well. Thank you so much. Let's have a look. And this, Harry Anderson here. This season, I don't know what's happened with Click shooting. I thought he had one of the best long shots in our team. He couldn't hit the sea from a boat. He had a really good chance, didn't he? Where he really approached the ball weird. It bounced around. He sort of got it under his spell, and I thought he was going to get over it and lace through it and get it on target. But instead, he just got under it, and it was the bizarrest attempt on Tottenham's goal ever. I don't know why he approached it in that way. I thought his build-up play was much better today, in and around sort of the midfield area, and I think that's been getting better, to be honest, in the past 2 games, if I'm being narrow with my margins. But overall, we probably need to see better levels of performances from Click. But he's been still, chances created. He's still in the top 6, 7 in the Premier League. This is my expectations, because I saw Click last season in the Championship. He was firing him in everywhere. He was doing this, he was doing that. We're in the Premier League. He's not going to be doing that week in, that week out. What people mistake as well with the Premier League, for me, I don't know if you guys agree, get it in the comment section below. They think the Championship's a physical league, which it is. It's a physical league. But for me, there is an eliteness with physicality as well, and athleticism and physical prowess. I think in this Premier League, you've got players like Ndombele, you've got players like Kante, you've got players like Amati, you've got players like Pogba, players who are just physically strong. In the Championship, it is, without disrespect, it's players who've been journeymen in the Championship, and like Sean Morrison, who is 6'3", but they're not athletic. They're not able to sort of balance as well when they move. And I just think there's a real difference in physicality in the Premier League, and we get that. And in the midfield of the park, we've got some of the best midfielders in the world in the Premier League, and they're up against Click week in, week out. And when you physicality, that encompasses so many things as well, which stamina is a big one as well. Being able to break through the midfield lines, being able to aid the attackers, being able to aid the defenders as well. It's a multi-purpose role in the midfield in the Premier League. I don't know in the Championship if it's a multi-purpose role. I think you have a lot more individual players for individual roles. The midfield in the Premier League, you have to be able to do it all. We saw Højbjerg today even breaking up play, but then coming forward a couple of times and playing it out to the left and playing it out to the right. He was everywhere, to be fair to him. Covered a massive kilometre spread as well. So these are the sort of players you get in the Premier League. And I don't know if Click's been, I'm sort of realising this now. I don't know if Click's been bad. I just think there's a level up in terms of midfielders. And when he's playing a stray pass, that's probably because, 3 phases of play before, he's been competing with a world-class midfielder. And maybe he's got a bit lackadaisical with his play in that 4th transition. I think there's a lot of aspects and factors that as fans we think we understand, but we're not on the pitch playing week in, week out, so we don't know. Let's have a look. Saying that, Click 1.5 has been unbelievable. Let's have a look. Do I think Charlie Cresswell will play in the Brighton game? I hope not. I really hope not. Why, Ethan, would you put him in against Brighton? A massive, physically imposing team. I know Charlie Cresswell's done very well, but the last test in the first team he had, bless him, he's only a youngster, so I'm not judging him on it. But Malik Wilks for Hull City ran him ragged. Malik Wilks, ex-Leeds player. I would never put him in against Neil Maupay. It's a massive step up. This whole Charlie Cresswell thing's unbelievable. There's loads of people talking about it. We do reports on Charlie Cresswell at work. He's a very, very good player, a lot of potential. He's 18, 19, never been exposed to Premier League football, was never exposed to Championship football even. That step up from the 23s to the Cup to then, against Hull City, by the way, League One Hull City, where he struggled against Malik Wilks, to playing up against Neil Maupay in the Premier League, and players like Trossard and players like Solly March defending up against Dunk, Webster, Ben White, etc. And that's Brighton. It's a massively different step up for a kid, that is. And that's why you only ever get the top players breaking through that boundary. You know what I mean? That's why you don't see that many 18-year-olds making it in the Premier League at the top level straight away. That's why the likes of Wayne Rooney and James Milner were anomalies, because doing that at such a high level is so difficult. I don't know. That's just my opinion. We need a Matic type of player in the midfield, just to bully the odd team, dreaming of a day we have an out-and-out centre-back partnership. Yeah, and you got to think we've had 10 centre-back combinations. I think a lot of people forget, to be quite honest with you, especially opposition. You won't get Gary Lineker coming out and saying, do you know what, Ian Wright? Leeds have been impressive. And I'll tell you why Leeds have been impressive. Because they've had 10 centre-back different combinations. And they had Luke Kaelin and a child today. A child in Pascal Struijk who played 2 championship games last year, Ian. Did you know that? 2 championship games. Luke Kaelin, who's a right back and really hasn't played centre back consistently until he was at Arsenal, from when he was at Arsenal, when he was sort of 17, 18. Did you know that, Ian Wright? I did know that, Gary Lineker, actually, because I'm an Arsenal guy. So let's have a conversation about that, because I've heard Virgil van Dijk. It's like we've lost someone with Virgil van Dijk. You know, the whole media rhetoric around Van Dijk, losing him at Liverpool, you know, the centre-back's gone and oh no, and that's any time there's a breach at the centre-back, it's because Van Dijk's not there. Look at our scenario as a newly promoted side. Look at when Sheffield United came up last year. They had that consistent back three, week in, week out. And this is why it makes it so much more impressive what Leeds are doing this year, because our back line has been decimated from moment one. From moment one. Look at the first game, Liam Cooper wasn't there. Then we had a cocking... that was just a bad sentence. A cock injury straight away that'll get clipped up, and then we've had, you know, we've been mismatching it. Struijk been in this on his Premier League debut against Liverpool. We've had so many differentials. Sheffield United didn't have that as a comparative last year. This year they haven't had that consistency at centre back, and what's happening? They're having problems. So it's a massive contextualisation, the fact that, you know, you don't get pundits taking that into account, but yet they do when it's Liverpool. You know, they do when it's teams like that, but not when it's Leeds. That's just Leeds being naff at the back. Here we go. We got some Man United fans in. Here we go. Get ready for the Championship. Leeds is such a dead team. There we go. Oh, he's actively looking for Leeds. Can you believe it? A Man United fan, just on his day off, he's looking for Leeds Fan Channel. Little old Leeds, little dead club Leeds. We've got Man United fans on the channel. Hiya, Harry. How you doing, mate? We do love it. We do love it. Matthew Ackroyd, you're deluded. I appreciate it, mate. Any opinion is okay on this channel. Any opinion. I'd like to know where. Let's have a chat on where that is. I'd be interested. As I said on this channel, every opinion matters on this channel. Let's have a look. Every season, 34 points keeps you up. That means from the final 21 games, win 3, draw 2, which leaves us. And that's it. I think we probably need 6 or 7 games. Maybe I said 5 on my Twitter, but looking at it, probably 6 or 7 wins. So replicating what we've done, that'd be absolutely brilliant. But yeah, that's it, guys. What I will do is I will be back on tomorrow. Hope you've enjoyed it. I've gone a little bit longer, 45 minutes. I'd be really appreciative if you could slap a like on this video. If you are a Man United fan, slap a dislike. I know you will anyway. I appreciate that. I appreciate you coming over and us having a little bit of a conversation here. But yeah, we're back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, but I'm going to do something. It might be the 3 things that we missed in the Spurs game. I'm going to go back, try to do a little bit of analysis of it. Might do a player ratings. I know you guys love player ratings. I did that once and it absolutely blew up. So if you want me to go through each and every individual player, try to pick apart the game, I will do that tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to just probably get another drink of wine. Have a lovely evening. Stay happy, stay safe, and in the knowledge that Leeds are 11th in their first season so far.